Story 1.
As I lay on the road, I found myself immersed in a profound darkness, a void that seemed to stretch endlessly. It was as if all light had been extinguished, but then, gradually, the darkness began to fade, replaced by a soft gray hue, and before I knew it, a brilliant white cloud enveloped my surroundings, bringing a sense of clarity and serenity. It was as if I had transcended the earthly realm and entered a realm of pure tranquility, akin to floating in the vastness of space. And as I continued, there was a remarkable absence of any physical sensations such as wind or sound. As I accelerated through the tunnel of light, the stars around me became a blur. At the end of the tunnel, a brilliant pinprick of light caught my attention. Drawing nearer, the light expanded until I was enveloped by its radiance. Suddenly I found myself in a breathtaking realm adorned with majestic mountains, lush green grass, and a sky of the purest blue. I caught sight of a meandering stream just a short distance ahead of me. The sunlight danced upon its surface, creating a sparkling spectacle. The water was remarkably transparent, resembling liquid air in its pristine clarity. I caught sight of a towering tree in the distance, standing at an impressive height of around 400 to 500 feet, though it was probably closer to 500 yards away. The leaves displayed a stunning array of colors, ranging from gold and green to brown and yellow. It seemed to glisten as if adorned with countless diamonds. In the blink of an eye, I found myself standing right beside the tree, as if transported there in a mere second. I marveled at each individual leaf, observing how they reflected the dazzling array of colors and light. Raindrops clung to the leaves, creating a mesmerizing display of rainbows within each droplet. As I reflected on the incredible distance I had covered, my gaze fell upon a cluster of massive rocks to my left. Intuitively, I sensed that someone of great significance awaited me there. In the far distance, I also caught sight of individuals adorned in vibrant, fluorescent hues. However, my focus returned to the rocky outcrop, and I made my way towards it. In a matter of moments I stood before a young woman approximately 18 or 19 years old, whom I instinctively recognized as my soulmate. As soon as our eyes met, we both experienced a moment of mutual recognition. I could see the surprise in her expression, mirroring the astonishment I felt myself. It was then that I realized something peculiar had occurred. I had left this place only moments ago, yet in the span of a few minutes I had aged 13 years according to Earth's time. The situation was perplexing, to say the least. What struck me the most about my soulmate was her unique appearance. Unlike the other beings I had observed from a distance, she was dressed in a vibrant green outfit reminiscent of Robin Hood. Additionally, her hair was cropped short, giving her a boyish charm. In my encounter, as I neared her, she conveyed to me that it was not yet my moment and that I couldn't remain. I distinctly recall begging and weeping, imploring her to let me stay. However, she insisted that I had things to witness before I could return and stay for as long as I desired. With a wave of her hand, I was pulled back into the same luminous tunnel I had entered through. This may seem like the conclusion of the tale, but in reality, it is only the start. After witnessing my stepdad desperately performing CPR on me, I regained consciousness and found myself back in my own body. As I slowly opened my eyes, I couldn't help but feel a surge of anger towards my stepdad for bringing me back. I resented him for my return, blaming him for the pain and suffering I had to endure. However, as time passed, I began to understand that he was only trying to save my life, and my resentment gradually faded away. Despite my physical discomfort and inability to move, I remained in bed for 3 weeks, since we couldn't afford medical treatment at that time. I kept the experience to myself because I did not know what to think. I was influenced by various experts who claimed that such experiences were simply a result of oxygen deprivation and the brain shutting down. This left me feeling confused for many years. However, one day while watching a TV show about near-death experiences, I came across a group discussion featuring people who had been declared dead, but survived. Among them was a man who had also been electrocuted while adjusting his roof antenna. Hearing his story validated my own experience and made me realize that it was indeed real. As I listened to him, I couldn't believe what I was hearing. It was as if he had lived the exact same experience I had 17 years ago. He described everything in the same order I did, from the vibrant green grass to the breathtakingly beautiful sky. He even mentioned the crystal-clear brook that sparkled in the sunlight and the tree with its shimmering, multicolored leaves. It was like he had seen the same sunlight sparkling through each raindrop on each leaf. And then he mentioned something that sent chills down my spine. The young teenage girl in the green Tinkerbell outfit, just as I had described her. She told him that it wasn't his time yet, that he had to return until it was his time to come back. It was an uncanny coincidence, or perhaps something more. I was taken aback and found it hard to catch my breath, as there were far too many similarities for this to be mere chance. In that moment, I became certain that what I had just experienced was undeniably real. At that moment, everything in my life shifted. I was certain that there was more to existence beyond death, that a heavenly realm existed, and that there was a divine presence in the form of God and Jesus Christ. This realization forever transformed my perspective.
This story was shared by Johnny D and happened in 1973. Story 2.
Initially, the doctors diagnosed me with bronchitis and prescribed antibiotics and an injection. I thought that would be enough to make me feel better. However, that night, I suddenly felt even worse. I was in so much discomfort that I decided to take a hot bath to try and alleviate it. Unfortunately, I was so weak that I could barely move and ended up fainting in the bathtub. Eventually, I regained consciousness and tried to get dressed and go back to bed. But I collapsed, once again, on my way. My husband, unable to get a response from me, immediately called for an ambulance. During a period of unconsciousness, I had a transformative encounter where I perceived my spirit detaching from my physical form. My spirit took on a smoky appearance, resembling my body but in a different state. It felt as though I had entered a different dimension, where I experienced an indescribable level of tranquility that surpasses earthly comprehension. This profound peace was accompanied by a gentle and radiant light that seemed to emanate from within my spirit, as if it was being illuminated from above. As I stood there, a presence appeared next to me, glowing with a brilliant white light. It took on the form of a human, but I could sense that it was not of this world. It was the same divine light that I had encountered on my spiritual journey. I felt a strong force pulling me towards this being, and deep in my heart I knew it was God. In that moment, Emmanuel, God himself, stood beside me, and I felt a profound sense of completeness and belonging. It was as if I had returned home, for I had been in his presence before. Without uttering a single word, I understood that God was wearing a crown adorned with lapis lazuli and pearls. Although the stones were weighty, the crown emitted a radiant light. In his hands he held a white cloak, intricately embroidered with pearls of various sizes. It was a garment meant for me, a symbol of purity and divine protection. As I gazed upon the cloak in his hand, I was mesmerized by its vibrant colors and exquisite details. The blend of purple and burgundy, adorned with delicate gemstones, was unlike anything I had ever seen on earth. It was at that moment that I realized the weightlessness of the cloak and the crown he held. It dawned on me that he had come to take me with him. But just as I was about to embrace the moment of passing, he made the choice to send my spirit back into my body, and I was granted a second chance at life. Following my brush with death, I entered a state of profound serenity that lasted for about a month. It was as if I had become disconnected from my physical self and the happenings of my time in the hospital. All feelings of anxiety, fear, and stress were completely absent, replaced instead by a deep and overwhelming sense of peace.
This story was shared by Catherine and happened in 2018.